to the Read 'em and Weep Book Club. Today is a monumental episode because we finally are diving into Fourth Wing, and we have two repeating guests. Introduce yourselves, y'all.
Well, I'm Annie again.
I am Katherine.
Again. And this was Katherine's pick because she was waiting until January to start the third one, and so we want to get ready.
This is our fun Christmas read into the third book coming out in January because there was no way I was waiting like the rest of you for who knows how long.
Definitely. Okay, so we really want to get into it. So I'll give a little not spoiler version of it. And so if you haven't read it somehow, some way, you can go read it and then come back and we can talk about it. So it follows a girl named Violet, and she is the daughter of Miss Magical General of this military dragon academy. And she wants to be like a little library role in the, scribe. Yeah. Her mom's like, no, you need to be a dragon person because we're dragon people or writers.
Well, in all fairness, her father was a scribe and she relates mostly to him.
Definitely.
But go on.
Yeah, no, exactly. And she has some condition where she's really frail and can easily break some bones. And when you're in the writer quadrant, it's like Divergent, like Dauntless. Like you just die, and many people die, and a very few survive and get a dragon. And so it's pretty much her journey through this academy. Things happen. It follows a lot of tropes, but I mean, it's trash, but call me Sporky. I love some trash, and it was really good.
It's so good. It is.
It is. Okay, so go read it and come back. And let's talk about it. Okay, ready?
Yes. Finally.
Hold on.
Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
Close. I'm so close.
I just figured it out.
What?
So, during this whole book, she reminded me so much of Captain America before he became Captain America, and he was really small, and he's like, I could do this all day. Oh. And her first thing is to Aaron, my own Captain America. I'm like, wow, you really did take it. Did you ever watch the movie? I don't think you did.
What?
Captain America?
We all watched Captain
you did?
America.
Yeah, you got memories. I can do it.
I can do this all day.
It's like this big.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, please, if anything, let's nerd out a little bit more as far as the silver in her hair and the fact that she can control lightning.
Yeah.
I kept thinking of X-Men and Storm.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what? Okay,
That's so
we should
funny.
probably start if we're going to talk like this.
Okay, so we start with Mira pretty much saying, you have to follow these rules, keep your focus, blah, 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 advice. And she's just falling apart.
Yeah.
She's like, wait, what about my books?
So.
I really want...
That's so funny. Mira's like, are you dumb? You can't bring all your books with you.
Exactly.
You might die.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think anyone expects that, the first obstacle that they come to is going to be, what it is.
Yeah.
Is that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, let's just call it the Bridge of Death because that is what it is. It is the stone bridge of death. Almost like a very, what is it? It's the pathway of balance that if you cannot hold on, you will just die. You'll slip off and die.
And then, okay, so what I loved what Mira said was she was like, Mira yanks on my braid, pulling my head back, and our eyes lock. You're the smartest woman I know. Don't forget that. Your brain is your best weapon. Outsmart them, Violet. And I was like, that's what she did.
She really did.
Yeah.
Although I personally don't think it was all that smart to give up one of her shoes.
Yeah, she's like, don't make any friends. She's like, hey, you want my shoe?
First obstacle. Here, let's trade one shoe. Go.
And I called her Rihanna the whole time in my head. I cannot do Rhiannon. I was like Rihanna.
Rhiannon. That's what I said.
Rhiannon.
Yes.
Rihanna.
I mean, I just called her Rhea at some point. It's just we're just going to do this.
Yeah.
And she's so excited. Well, okay, let's just go to the parapet where she sees Xaden for the first time. And immediately I'm like, our love interest has arrived to the scene.
Immediately comes in. I love that. It's not like Akatar or Crescent City or anything that Sarah J. Maas slowly warms up to. It is instant, like a firecracker.
Yes. And he wants to kill her, which is so hot.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was like, okay. You won't.
It's something about just like that pure like hatred towards someone and like wanting to kill them. It's just like, it's really hot.
It is, yeah.
Especially then he gets over that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who doesn't believe that the line between like hate and love is right here, something that you can just hopscotch over?
Oh, I know.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
But I would say like one of my critiques was it was enemies to lovers, but I wish it was more like enemy, like you want, like he at least tries to kill her at one point, but like he really doesn't.
No.
He more just like taunts it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, like
does.
I want you to like actually want to kill her, because it really felt like annoyance.
Yeah. I think it was like, I could kill you. Like, you're being really annoying, so I could kill you. Like, there was no like weight behind it.
Yeah, I wish there was a little.
I mean, she definitely thought there was at first, but I think that went down the drain a little.
I think as the book continues on, I couldn't help but think, all right, he keeps saying he wants to hurt her, but everyone else seems to actually be trying to hurt her, like, except him. And because when he sees her, it's almost like a shock to his system. I couldn't help but thinking, there is something with her hair and who she is that, okay, is there gonna pop in sometime in some of these books that he's been like warned about like a look of an individual that's gonna change his life, and all of a sudden like it's his enemy.
Yes.
And he's like, oh crap, like this person is supposed to change me and it's her, but I hate her. So that's kind of, there's like a little prophecy theory thinking I was,
So like let's keep going with our chronologicalness, or else we're gonna go everywhere. It's so hard not to, but I'll be the person that reins us back. So we're going through the parapet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walk me through our thoughts. Like, what are we thinking?
Well, we already said one.
She gave her her shoe.
I would never.
Bye.
I would have been all for one, all for me. Like, no.
Because she has that one guy, Jack.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, oh my God.
No, literally.
Immediately.
Yeah, no. I hated him. But I thought that more people would die.
More people would. She wanted more death.
Was there not enough for you?
I mean, there are, but like, I don't know. I feel like there wasn't enough for it to be like, because there's only so many dragons.
Yeah.
Like, everybody who goes to the academy can't have a dragon, whatever, and you have to like weed out the weak, because the dragons will smell you being weak, apparently.
But this is also this is the first obstacle that they go all through. Like, a lot more people die. They end up being, quote unquote, the largest section, but
without a dragon.
Yeah, but if anything, they're the smallest class from, I think, the year before.
Yeah.
So, people dwindle away, but this is just like the very first. I want to say like 2 people run after the bridge and they get scorched, so people do die along the way.
I know.
I think I would
feel more special.
Right. I think I would have given up my boot. That's just kind of like who I am.
Oh yeah, you definitely
would. But I think she's thinking of friendship, but she ends up building like an alliance through that one person unknowingly. And I think a part of her instantly takes that risk because she's part writer in her, but part scribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I knew immediately that guy like patting his ring, being like, yeah, like I'm gonna get married after this and like have a fiance, and he's like going like this, like, I'm like, okay. And then he just dies.
You're gonna live, you're gonna die.
Exactly. And she says it in the book too. She's like, overconfidence.
Yeah.
But you want me to read the part when she sees Xaden for the first time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The third turns in my direction, and my heart simply stops. He's tall, with wind-blown black hair and dark brows. The line of his jaw is strong and covered by warm, tawny skin and dark stubble, and when he folds his arm across his torso, the muscles in his chest and arms ripple, moving in a way that makes me swallow. And his eyes are the shade of gold-flecked onyx. The contrast is startling, jaw-dropping even. Everything about him is. His features are so harsh that they look carved, and yet they're astonishingly perfect, like an artist worked a lifetime sculpting him, and at least a year of that was spent on his mouth.
This girl was lusting after him from the get-go.
Page
right?
32, we just met this man.
Yeah.
We know everything that is truly important about him at this point. It's not like the book says, by the way, he's like really, really hot.
No,
he is sculpted by the gods. Those lips are just ready to be
But you want to know something
entwined.
horrible that I thought when I read that? I pictured handsome Squidward, if anyone knows that image.
Handsome
Stop. That's
Squidward?
such an insult.
It is.
That is such an insult.
It is, but it
stop your.
At
no.
least
Do you know who you automatically go towards?
Who?
The dark broodiness. You go towards Reese.
Oh, don't even
You
bring
go
him.
towards Reese immediately. I could not help it at all, especially when they talk about the lips.
Yeah.
Oh, and the windblown black hair.
And he looks so angry at her. He's like, I'm going to kill you. And she's like, why don't you just kill me now? And he's like, why would I waste my energy if the parapet's just going to do it for me? And I was like, we love a conscious king.
Yeah.
Protect your energy.
It's so hot.
I
You're
know.
so beneath me.
Okay, so then she goes, she makes it past the parapet somehow, and she ends with her putting one of her daggers to that man's balls. I was like, when did she learn this skill? But okay.
No, and they say something about him being a eunuch.
Yes.
Like, what's it gonna be? Is he gonna start the training being a eunuch? Or
Yes.
something? I would have voted yes.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with like all the other shit he decides to do throughout the book. But
Exactly, but
I
she's a
probably would have given him a
scribe.
warning shot. Like a little warning thing. But again, she knows like nothing.
She knows how to use a dagger.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm talking about like in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
knows nothing. All she knows
Oh,
is
yeah.
she might castrate this man.
Yeah. Weird.
she should have, but whatever.
Okay, so then we see Dane, and she really misses him, and like they're like best friends.
Yeah.
And what did you think at the beginning when we just meet him?
Tamlin.
No, I did too. I can't help but compare most books to ACOTAR. So like the fact that there were like two love interests. Dane's like supposedly this really like good guy, good for her, like have been friends, whatever. That's Tamlin. And then the broody, like messed up kind of guy, that's Xaden.
Well, it's not like Dane's not
Rysand.
hot. Dane's hot.
Well,
He's
got
like
hot.
he's
He got
like
less
a
hot
boy
to me.
next door hot,
Yeah.
where Xaden
Hey, a lot
is
of people go for
sculpted.
that boy next door hot, okay?
Yeah.
And, yeah, she just doesn't know.
This like I didn't understand. Like I understand like they say like, oh, we're best friends, but like we don't really get a whole lot of like how they're best friends besides them climbing trees. And then they had this random conversation, and I was like, this just feels not right. Okay, ready?
Yes.
As soon as I get it fastened with the little metal clasp, I stand and tug my leathers back up over my ass and button them, all covered. He turns and glances over me. You look different. It's the leathers? I shrug. Why? Is different bad? It takes a second to close my rucksack and haul it up over my shoulders. Thank you, gods. The ache in my knee is manageable with it bound like this. It's just... He shakes his head slowly, teasing his lower lip with his teeth. Different. Why, Dane Ados? I grin and walk towards him, then grasp the door handle at his side. You've seen me in my swimwear, tunics, and even ball gowns. Are you telling me it's the leather that does it for you? He scoffs, so there's a slight flush in his cheeks as his hand covers mine to open the door. Glad to see our 1 year apart hasn't dulled your tongue, V. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Lord.
He definitely has lusted after her.
It feels like they slept together.
I don't think so.
No.
Not at all. It doesn't
What?
feel like they slept together.
I don't think she'd stoop that low.
But there's...
I think she liked him at one point.
Oh, yeah. No,
she definitely did.
Definitely.
You don't think she would have slept? They would have slept together.
I don't think so.
In one night, they don't think
No.
so. But she says it's not like
No.
whatever.
Because
I think
don't
so.
think he really liked her
Oh.
previously.
Yes.
Oh, and
now
that's why
she-
he's like, you look different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
now
I
he's
mean-
like, shit, like, she's been here this whole time? God.
Who doesn't
I
like
need to
a
get her
leather,
out of
baby?
here.
Yeah. I think the leathers would do it for me, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think there's... I mean, because they've always known each other and you're younger. It's like seeing... when you grow up with someone, you see them in the regular clothes, but it's like when you've got like battle gear on, and they're older too. She's more
Yeah.
mature at that point. I
Fuller,
think he just
hotter.
I think he
thicker.
sees her in a different light now, and he begins to like, oh man, like
Well, he immediately tries to send her to another place, being like, yeah, you're not safe.
yeah,
You need to
because
leave."
deep down he's
Yeah.
a loser.
He sucks.
He's
but
a
like,
coward.
I know. But when I got confused was when he actually made it possible for her to go to like the scribe place without her mom like knowing for a year, and she'd be safe and would be able to do it. And I felt like that's who she was at one point. Like she really wanted to be a scribe. That's what she was saying like the whole half of the book, how much she wants to be a scribe.
Right.
And she has this opportunity to do it, but she doesn't take it. Why do you think she doesn't take it?
She's like, because she already got so far, and I think because she like started making the alliances with stuff like with Rhiannon.
Rihanna? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rihanna. With
Yeah.
Rhiannon, and like I think she really thought that she was like, I can actually do this. Like she started believing in herself a little bit more, and like maybe being a scribe isn't all like she thought it was gonna be. So
Yeah.
she's, I don't know. I wouldn't have gone if I were her. Like if I had made it that far.
Yeah.
I
Who
wouldn't have
doesn't like
changed it.
to...
She, like, got some confidence in herself.
Yeah, I think she got some confidence for the first time and thought, if I go, will I regret this? And I think somewhere deep down she knows that she would. Because who doesn't see
So
an
she
opportunity?
enjoys the dragons. Because at
Yes.
first she was kind of, like, shitting on him, being like, oh, I don't want anything to do with that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
Oh,
my
she was
books.
scared.
Yeah, but I think she changed him. That's people change. And, like, Dane did not understand that.
Right.
He was like,
Which
"What?"
is fun. It's funny because he has obviously changed himself, but
Yeah.
he doesn't see himself in that light because he's got no one from his past to mirror at him like, dude, you have changed. It's just not for the better.
Yeah.
And it's like, here I am and I'm showing this to you. Like, you don't support me. You don't believe that I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're not lifting up my confidence, and you're not pushing me to even be better so I can survive. Even though you're
Yeah.
telling me to survive.
I love when Zane
throw
was
me a
like,
bone
stop
here.
coddling her.
Stop coddling her.
That's
Yes.
true. I think Dane and the General Sorrengail, like her
Yeah.
mom, are like the complete opposites. Because like
Ooh,
Dane
yeah.
is like coddling her, wants her to be like super safe, like go be a scribe and all this stuff, and her mom's like, fuck no. Like, I don't care. I'd
You
rather
are a Sorrengail?
I'd rather you die trying to ride a dragon than live forever being a scribe.
That was
like,
bold.
whoa.
Right?
Well, she saw her potential.
Thanks for your support, Mom.
Yeah.
She did. I mean, I think once you reach out and grasp like a vision of yourself of where you want to go, like it's hard to let that go. And she realizes, not right away, but she's picking up, he just like, why doesn't he believe in me?
Yeah.
And it drives her nuts. And he creates that wedge.
Yeah. Well, so she has figured out she gets this journal from her dead brother. Mm-hmm. Dead brother. And she's like, oh, I have an idea how to survive this place. And she's going to poison her opponents. And she goes up to her tree, finding her herbs. And then Xaden and his little club come over and meet. And she's like, what the hell? And they're like debating about how they should kill her.
These are all rebellion kids.
Yes.
Which are not allowed to meet in 3 or more, or it's a capital offense, which is punishable by death, if anybody wants a little backstory there. So the fact that
they've read the book.
Right? Well, we hope so. If not, you're hearing this for the first time, and you'll want to read it more, because there's a whole lot more to that. So the fact that there's a whole lot of them, and they discuss about how to survive first, like, who needs help fighting?
Yeah.
Who needs help studying this? Like, who needs blah, blah, blah with the gauntlet?
And one of the kids was like, well, I don't want to do this. People are dying. And he was
Shut up.
He's like, all right, you're going to die then.
Yeah.
You can't help people who don't want to be helped.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's really sweet.
Yeah.
Like, they were all trying to help each other.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're seen as outcasts and, like, they're being punished for, like, their parents' faults and things like that. So I think, they should.
I know. Can you even imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that sucks.
Yeah, but she's up in the tree listening to all this.
Yes.
And then she decides, okay, they're all gone. The squirrels have come back to foraging. And she's like, all right, I'm good. I'm down.
But he knows.
And then the shadows come out. And you want me to read it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. A shadow lunges behind me, and I open my mouth to scream, but my air supply is cut off by an elbow around my neck as I'm yanked against a hard chest. Scream and you die, he whispers, and my stomach plummets as the elbow is replaced by the sharp bite of a dagger at my throat. I freeze. I'd recognize the rough pitch of Xaden's voice anywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking Sorrengail. His hand yanks back the hood of my cloak. How did you know? My tone is outright indignant, but whatever. If he's going to kill me, I'm not going down as some simpering little beggar. Let me guess, you could smell my perfume. Isn't that what always gives the heroine away in books? He scoffs. I command shadows, but sure, it was your perfume that gave you away. He lowers the knife and steps away.
Oh, but sure. See? So much sarcasm.
If he really wanted to kill her,
He would have.
That was the perfect opportunity. Yeah, throw her body in the river, like she said. They would never. They probably wouldn't find her.
But why didn't he? Why do we think? For the plot.
He thinks she's hot.
That's true.
Yes, because I think right away he has the same connection that she does. I think it's instantaneous, but there's a constant battle inwardly with both of them. He has apparently, or his father has apparently killed her brother, and of course the mom has killed his father.
Yeah.
And so there's an inner struggle of like,
Oh, he's so hot though. Which she does the whole book. She's like, oh, I hate him, but like, oh my god, his biceps.
Yeah.
That's the whole
and those
book.
lips.
Me too, girl.
Me too. It's a Me Too movement. Woo,
Yeah.
Me too.
This part made me laugh. So like they have that whole conversation or whatever, and he leaves, and he's you're not going to handle me, I call after him, shock raising my brows. Not tonight, he tosses over his shoulder. I scoff. What are you waiting for? It's no fun if you expect it, he answers, striding into the darkness. Now get back to bed before your wing leader realizes you're out after curfew. What? I gawk after him. You're my wing leader. That made me laugh. That's so funny.
And you can't help but think, like, you can handle me.
I love
Anytime you
it.
want.
Because like Dane said, like she's got a sharp tongue, and
She
he's giving it
does.
right back to her.
Except
the
Dane's like,
best.
don't say that.
And they're both
my
like,
God.
volley, boom.
And she, during that conversation, she had like shown that she's good with a dagger. And he's like, oh, okay, like you should use that approach towards Jack or anyone else who tries to kill you.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Dane's like, don't fight anyone. Like, lay low.
Lay low.
And she's like, she says, I blink. The advice is so different from Xaden's throw a few daggers at his head approach. And then Dane, before that, says, just steer clear of him. I'm like,
Oh, his advice royally
If
sucks.
she listened to Dane, she would be dead.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
She would be dead.
Well, if she listened, she would have been a scribe and feel that what if her whole life.
Right.
Because I think when do you think she figured out that she kind of enjoys this? Because it flipped. I mean, she didn't want to leave after the parapet, which is surprising because before that, I think she would have taken Dane's advice and gone towards the scrap.
Honestly, I think even after, the only reason I think she didn't leave was she knew her mother would drag her back.
Yeah. And then Dane's like, okay, here's this opportunity.
Yes.
She can't know.
But that didn't come until like a couple weeks in.
Yeah.
And by that time, she had, and correct me if I'm wrong, she had already kind of survived a couple of meetups with Xaden.
Yeah.
She had survived getting her arm freaking dislocated on the mat.
That's true, yeah.
And
she had like been poisoning her opponents.
Yeah.
She's been outsmarting them.
So I think at this point in time, she was like, no, like I'm getting past everything. Like I'm getting better.
Yeah, and I think she liked herself for that. I don't think she knew she was capable of that.
Right. So I think she really thought she was like, I'm going to survive this. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And she's had a couple words with Xaden, and she's like, ooh, I kind of like the way he thinks. But I hate him. But, like, do I? Do you guys remember when she has been poisoning her opponents, and then she did it too early one time, and the person she was supposed to fight was at, like, the healing ward.
Yes.
And Xaden's like, I'll do it. And it was so good. He just like kept like disarming each dagger at a time. And you want me to read this one?
Hot.
I know. You to read it first?
Yeah.
All right. Then he leans closer. Taking out your enemy before the battle is really smart. I'll give that to you, he whispers, his warm breath brushing the shell of my ear. Oh, God. He knows what I've been doing. The pain in my arm is nothing compared to the nausea churning up my stomach at the thought of what he might do with that knowledge. Problem is, if you aren't testing yourself in here, he scrapes the dagger down my neck, but there's no warm trickle of blood, so I know he hasn't cut me. Then you're not going to get any better. You'd rather I die, no doubt, I fire back, the side of my face pressed into the mat. This isn't just painful, it's humiliating. And be denied the pleasure of your company, he mocks. I fucking hate you. The words are past my lip before I can shut my mouth. That doesn't make you special.
Oh, man.
I knew he wasn't going to actually kill her.
He never, like, I wish, that's the only problem I have. I wish he kind of, like, did it. But, like, I loved this book. It was so good.
Oh, he had definitely fallen by that point. Like, he knew he was having feelings.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, the taunting. Because I think he knew he had to keep her at arm's length.
Yeah.
And it's like, the only way he could do that was, like, to be a complete asshole.
I know.
But still, like, flirt with the fire.
I know. And Dane's like, oh my gosh.
Right? I mean, the metal against skin, the lips against the ear. I mean, talk about taunting.
I was so excited to read that part.
It was so good. As soon as he raised his hand, I was like, oh. And then, like, the guy who is, like, overseeing all of it, he's like, all right, everyone, watch this. Like, this is going to be a good teachable moment. I'm like, everyone's watching it, like, should I close my eyes?
No, but, like, the fact that they let him do that, though.
I know.
Right?
I mean, they let people.
Knew.
Jack murdered someone at the mat, and they're like, guys, don't do that.
No.
You're not supposed to be killing people.
Yes.
And it's like, what?
Well, so there's so much of the codex that we don't know, but it starts to be revealed. And the codex is their rule book, by the way. So it's like you find out, like, as you go on that, like, if you're from, like, a different wing, you can kill people, but you can't kill who is in your inner wing. And so I don't think who Jack was fighting, I don't think they were in the same wing together. So he was, quote unquote, able to do it without interference. But what I thought that second and third years could not fight, like, first years yet.
I don't think so.
But, I mean, maybe because he's her wing leader, they kind of make an exception for that.
And her opponent isn't present.
Oh, true.
Okay, so
exceptions
we're
to the
still
rules.
in the fight section. I've already gone through a few pages, but we're still here.
We might have to.
Wait, no, this part is so good. All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I think she's been taught enough for the day, Dane barks, reminding me that we're far from alone. No, we're a damn spectacle. He's always that overprotective, Xaden grumbles, pressing up from the mat a few inches. He cares about me. I glare at him. He's holding you back. Don't worry, your little poisoning secret is safe with me. Xaden arches a brow as if to remind me that I'm the keeper of one of his secrets too. Then he guides her hands back to my ribs and slides the ruby-hilted blade back into my sheath. The move is unnervingly hot. You're not going to disarm me? I challenge as he releases his grip and pushes up more, removing his weight from my body. My ribs expand as I take my first full breath. Nope, defenseless women have never been my type. I'm like, that's so good.
That's the opposite of that. Oh my god.
So good.
Chills.
And like,
Chills.
I understand there are things with this plot that don't make any sense, and it's a lot like Diversion, Hunger Games, all the good things mushed together. But like, even when I watched Diversion, I was only there for like the full tryst moment. Like, I don't really care, and so like, I'm really only here for their romance, and I really liked it, so it was good to me.
Oh my goodness. All right. So move on to should we move on to the gauntlet? I think the gauntlet is like the next big challenge for her. And I think she does surprisingly well in the beginning.
Yeah, because doesn't Xaden give her the advice to like, she's like, I'm too small, I can't go up there. And he's like, that's not the only way you can
That
do
doesn't
it.
so that doesn't come until later. I think when they're all lined up like in a group and they're like cheering each other on like the first time.
Oh, then that girl dies.
Then, well, not that. Hold on for
Oh,
that.
sorry.
Well, because I think she realizes as she's like watching everybody, like she has to do speed. So I think she keeps going. How she succeeds and helps her team is the book
Yeah.
from her brother that says, "Look, hey, it's better to grab a rope than die."
Yeah,
And
it's
so
true.
that
It's
she
true.
gets pretty far, but she does end up grabbing her and working her way down. Then it leads to her getting further with that friend
Yeah.
and watching her die.
How did you feel when that happened?
Oh my gosh! I think I literally would have dove for her, which I think she does. Does she dive for her?
She tries.
I
Yeah,
think she
she
tries to
tries.
dive for her. But it's like, oh, that has got to be. I think that's her first shocking moment where she second guesses her decision of whether or not
Her confidence, her hope diminishes.
of whether or not she should have just gone, like
Yeah.
Dean says.
Yeah.
But I think it's too late at that point.
Yeah.
It's probably, what's my job bad? It's probably a good thing that she died because it was like a reality check.
It was. It
Because
was.
like, you know, things were going so well, and so she was like, okay, shit, like this is still dangerous. I can
Yeah.
still die. I might still not make it through this, so I need to like be careful.
Right?
Yeah.
All it takes is like a little distraction.
And I think like all the hope that she was building and confidence kind of just goes bleh. And she sits out there, and then Xaden meets up with her. I think
Right.
she was at the tree or wanting like fresh air.
Yes, and that's when he gives her the advice you're talking about. About, hey, like, there's more than one way
Oh,
to
he
skin a
says-
cat.
He says it right here. His eyes flare, and I don't miss the hint of a smirk on that infuriatingly descent. I don't know. It should be against the codex to look that good and be so ruthless. The right way isn't the only way. And yeah, that's what he said.
Oh. Yeah, so her knowing the codex so well because she's a scribe and knowing that whatever she's brought with her that she could use in the gauntlet is like smart as hell. And
Yeah.
so being able to use like the daggers to like dig through and be able to like climb
Yeah.
up, I was like, that is so bad.
It is so good because he's you know on his little like pen and paper like, and then Amber, the squad leader, she's like, she can't do that. That's against the codex. And he looks up at her like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna come up with? What'd you come up with? And she just like gives that whole speech of how she did not actually break the rules.
Oh, she Websters her.
And he's like, she got you, Amber. So
Someone played a trump card.
he was just waiting for her to do it, and I was like, oh, I love that.
Jeez. Oh, it was so good. So good. And instantly you see Amber just becoming like another enemy.
Yeah. Were you expecting? Well, I mean, should we get? Is that what happens next? No.
You know what? Hold on. Let's see. No, because they have to. I think once the gauntlet is done.
They go to the dragons.
When
Fire.
they, like, can choose or, like, smell if they're weak or not.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have to walk through the field.
Yeah.
With
And
all
then there's the
dragons
feather
lined up.
tail. The
Yes.
little feather tail.
Oh, big one, and everyone's like,
Ew.
Well, everyone's questioning, like, why is this dragon even here? If it can't carry anybody, who is it going to choose? And they obviously think, oh, little Violet, like, this should be something you could ride. But, I mean,
no.
there's not.
Yeah,
a
because they
possibility
were
of
all
that.
like, they're like, we never see like this type of dragon like come to these things. Like she chose to, but like they didn't know that that wasn't a different kind of dragon. Is this a baby
It's
dragon?
just a baby dragon.
I lost my mind a little bit when like we found out that it's just a baby dragon.
I was like, oh, the baby. Yeah, and then I forget their names because they're so irrelevant in the story, but like they just keep like shitting on like the dragon, and then they go, phew, goodbye.
Right.
But there was a timid person
All
who
right.
like,
Who
do
was-
we go forward? Do we not?
Oh, the indecisive guy? I
Yeah.
was very happy when he got flamed.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Knock him down.
I can't imagine doing that though. Like I think I would be okay. Like I don't think I'd get flamed, but who knows. But like walking, imagine like how scary it is, like walking in front of like all of these dragons, and then like it says in the book, like feeling the heat of like the person
Yes.
behind you getting
No,
scorched.
no.
I've been like,
Do I go forward?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I would start
I would
walking
just
again.
always keep walking.
I'd be like, let's go, y'all.
What did you guys think of the green dragons? Both of them. They went down and sniffed her. And she's like, oh no, that's my sister's dragon.
I know.
And they were like,
I thought that was so cute.
it was
Right?
cute.
I definitely thought that was going to be a shadowing of one of them picking her. Because
Yeah.
obviously you can tell from one dragon is like, I'm not okay with her wearing like someone else's scales and kind of like huffs and something.
Yeah.
But the other one is, you can tell the other one is thoroughly like intrigued by this.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is like, she obviously stands out. No one else is wearing this, or else I would
Yeah.
have smelled them. So you think, oh, this could be her dragon. Like, this could be it.
And so after that, do they go straight into the field? Like the
think so.
dragons? And she finds out.
field is definitely
Yeah, I
next.
think that's exactly what happens next. And
Yeah.
Jack is like, oh, let's kill that weak thing.
That
And
is
she was,
terrible.
I know. And she was like, no. And she's like, all right, go, fly, go. They're trying to get you.
And she's
And
like,
she's like,
A dragon is literally sitting there, and you're like,
yeah.
it reminds me of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. 100% the way they do the cockhead. I was like, oh
yeah.
my God.
yes.
She's like, you they gotta
absolutely.
go. And then
Did you not understand
Zayden is like watching them. He's just in the distance with Scale, who's spelled so horribly. It made me laugh.
Oh.
It finally took me a second. I was like, Scale. Wow, that's how you're gonna spell it?
That is-
Sgaeyl.
That is not how I've been saying it in my brain.
No.
Yeah, I didn't
Not
either.
at all.
Skull.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, it's Scale. It's Scale.
It's Scale. Scale? That is a very interesting girl dragon name.
Sorry,
Scale.
random rant on that. But
Yeah.
anyway, he's watching her.
I thought it was a boy dragon at first.
Oh, really?
Like, Scale
When they
was.
talked about how ruthless it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and then it was like Xaden's dragon, but I think it's awesome that Xaden gets the girl dragon.
I
and
love
she gets
it.
the boy dragon.
I know. And so, what is it? Jack, the O name, and someone else all ambush her.
Or Orin?
Yeah, yeah,
Orin.
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 Jack flees.
Well, okay, hold on.
All right.
Her throwing that dagger and taking it to his shoulder is like, yes!
I think that's what Xaden was
Yes.
doing, just like, yes.
I know. Well, like, doesn't like towards the end of the book, like he talk about what he was feeling, like watching that happen.
Yes, and he was
does.
like, it
He
was
said
so.
he kept wanting to intervene, but he knew he couldn't.
Well, he almost did.
yeah.
He takes a step.
He was like, it was so hard for me to just stand back.
He
and
would have.
watch.
He would have. And if Taryn didn't come,
Yeah, no. If her life actually was like about to end, he would have stepped in.
and that's so hot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But anyway, Jack flees because he's a coward.
Yes.
Orin is unconscious.
Yes.
And
he
Taryn's
gets
like,
knocked out.
hey, get on my back. And she's like,
Wait, no, who was the other guy that she...
You're talking to me?
Yeah. Who was the other guy that almost kills her before Taryn steps in?
I
don't
don't
really
know.
remember his
Irrelevant.
name.
They're just side
Irrelevant.
characters that have no purpose besides the
him
sword.
getting scorched.
Tynan?
I think the dragon respects her more because she lets him live.
Yeah. He's like, okay. But I think it was Scale that told him to come and save her because she doesn't like bullies. That's what
she
Xaden
doesn't.
said.
Well, also, but she loves the little dragon too.
She
And
does.
she was, Violet's obviously trying to fight to the death to quote unquote save this dragon that you find out can fly just fine.
I know. She's like,
And it's like, and she was like, you don't even have any claws? What kind of dragon are you?
wait, I have
your
that
teeth
point.
or something?
Wait, here it is. Here
Throw
it
me
is.
a bone, woman.
Okay. So I guess that's a no on the flying. I toss over my shoulder again, and the golden dragon chuffs low in its throat in response. Great. Well, if you can back me up with those claws, I'd really appreciate it. It chuffs twice, and I spare a glance down on its claws. Or should I say paws? Oh, fucking hell. You don't have any claws?
You've got teeth, right? We're not a chicken with wings.
That was cute. She did go. That's so funny.
Who thinks of Jim Carrey?
Yeah. Exactly. And then a big shadow comes over them.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh no. And what is Taryn? What is his?
I think he easily starts running.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the first thing she hears from him is "Step aside, Silver One." And then he's like, "Yes, you move."
You with the hair, move.
And I just love their little banter, how he's so grumbly. And she's like, I don't get this. He's like, I don't.
I know.
Right? At this point in time, he's like, can you just, what kind of rider are you? Can you stay in the seat or what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm only here because Scale told me to.
Yeah.
Well, no, he voluntarily picks her.
It was because she was so protective of Adarna or whatever her name is.
The baby.
The
Yeah.
baby dragon.
He was like, I love that you
Yes.
wanted to protect her.
Yeah.
Right, willing to die for a dragon. I think that's the whole point of...
I think I would have done that.
Definitely, you definitely would.
I love the animals too much.
Yeah.
I'd be like, the poor baby!
But what
probably would've
made
died,
me
though.
actually livid was when she comes back and after she has fallen and Taryn picks her up, which I thought was really cute.
Right.
But she comes out and two of the dragons are there and she gives them the name and Dane's like, you have to pick one. Don't choose the big one. Choose a small one because you're small.
That was
I was
so
like, are you
gross.
What's
serious?
wrong with you?
And then doesn't he get her memory from that? And he's been doing this the whole time, but he touched her cheek during that.
I think whether we've known it or not, I think he's been touching her and she's been finding it almost like a term of endearment, like that simple
It's
touch.
yeah.
Almost like how you might just reach out to simply lean or hug on someone. I think he has been. I think he's been secretly taking little snidbits.
Well, we find out in the end
from
that's what he's been
her.
doing, yeah.
Yes.
Without her consent.
Yes.
Oh, it made me mad.
Oh, and it's infuriating. But it's almost like he is probably choosing because I think even when he touches her, he doesn't see the fight that happened.
He sees her memories. Whatever memory I think he wants to see, he sees. Or the last memory.
Yeah.
I forget. But here's the part when he says all this. You want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. What the actual fuck happened out there? Because I've got Kath telling me that not only did Taryn choose you, but so did the small one, Adarn. His fingers laced with mine, panic swirling in his brown eyes. Andarna, I correct him, a smile playing on my lips at the thought of the small golden dragon. They're going to make you choose. His expression hardens, and the certainty there makes me recoil. I'm not choosing. I shake my head, disengaging our hands. No human has ever chosen. I'm not going to be the first. And who the hell is Dane to tell me that? You are. He rips his hand over his hair and his composure slips. You have to trust me. You do trust me, right? Of course I do. Then you have to choose Indarna. He nods as if the decree equals a decision made. The goal one is the safest choice of the two.
I think maybe deep down he didn't want... I mean, do you, like, you wonder, like, how much, like, he truly knows and how much he's playing dumb to her. Like, does he know that the two dragons are already mated, and if she chooses the big one, like, it would connect her? You have to continue to wonder that. Like, how dumb is Dane playing in this whole thing?
I mean, doesn't he also, like, know by now, like, some things of, like, that she knows of Xaden and stuff and her feelings towards Xaden, so he's, like, doesn't want her to get any closer to him?
He says this. He says, Dane looks away, and I can almost see the gears in his mind turning as he calculates, what, my risk, my choice, my freedom? Even if you take Indarna into comment, there's only a chance you'll be killed. You take Taryn, and Xaden will get you killed. You think Melgren is terrifying? I've been here for a year longer than you have, V. At least you know that you're getting what it comes with Melgren. Xaden isn't only twice as ruthless, but he's dangerously unpredictable. I blink. Wait, what are you saying? They're a mated pair, Taryn and Scale, the strongest bond pair in the centuries. And I'm like, I was just like kicking my feet. I was like, oh, they're a mated pair.
Right? And you're coming into this book, you instantly think, is another reason why Taryn chose her is not only for, like, her honor and the fact that, you know, she was protecting the little dragon, but also that there's, like, a mating connection with his mates. Chosen one, like,
it made me so excited. But I loved the whole dynamic of Xaden not wanting that. He was very frustrated. He's like, if you die, then I die. And that whole dynamic for the next, like, 100 pages, I was just like, oh, I love this.
Like, did Dane not realize that? Because he was like, if you choose, like, the big one, or Taryn or whatever, then Xaden's gonna have you killed. And I'm like, but that would... Like, Scale would never allow that.
Yeah.
Like, she would never allow, like, Violet to get killed, and neither would Taryn. Like,
I think he just didn't like her potential. And I hated this part. She's like, I'm not choosing. And he said, you are. And it has to be Indarna. I know she's too small to bear a rider. And I'm like, who are you to make her decisions?
Sure, Dad.
Yeah, like, ew.
No, it's so
and, like,
gross.
in that point, like... Following how, like, Dane acted, and then, like, Xaden kind of is not acting like a dad, but almost like, you know, like a bodyguard, and, like, having to make sure she doesn't, you know, like, get killed, so he has to, like, protect her. But he didn't follow in that gross dad as, like, you can't do that or you'll get hurt. Because he was in that part where, like, he now has to care if she lives or dies. Yeah. And he never treated her like that.
No.
He was also annoyed.
I was so annoyed with him at this part.
Yeah.
So after this happens, I think we go straight into the almost assassination, don't we?
Yes, we can go to there. Because, like, she has to do, like, flight school and all that instead of her breakfast duty. So everyone's befriending her now because she has that, and now she has this huge threat. She has a huge threat on her back because they want her dragon.
Yes.
And so Xaden forces Imogen, the girl who tore off her shoulder pretty much, to help train her. Yes. And so she's been doing that, and then goes to sleep, wakes up, bam, she's getting attacked.
Yeah.
We have a heroine moment.
Yeah, what is it, like 6 to 8 individuals?
Yeah.
And Amber's the one who is...
I know. I thought that was crazy. Oh, I forgot. We forgot this part.
Uh-oh.
So backtrack. After he tells her making her decisions, he kisses her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and she's like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing here. She's like, oh my god, he's finally kissing me. Ooh.
Well, hold on. I think the only reason why he kisses her is she finds out she's able to keep both dragons. So he comes over and he's all happy for her. Mm-hmm. Then he kisses her.
You want me to read it?
Yes. All right, Dana, start your quote.
All right. You have to know how I feel about you. His thumb strokes over my cheek, his eyes searching for something, and then his mouth is on mine. His lips are soft, but the kiss is firm, and delight races up my spine. After years, Dane is finally kissing me. The thrill is gone in less than a heartbeat. There's no heat, no energy, no sharp slice of lust. Disappointment sours the moment, but not for Dane. He's all smiles as he pulls away. It was over in an instant. It was everything I've ever wanted except, shit, I don't want it anymore.
No.
I love that. I love that.
Any chance that, like, when he touches her, he finds, like, an old memory of how she, like, really feels for him? So that's why he kisses her? Because it's like he touches her. He's looking for something. I think he sees it because she does desire him.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when he kisses her, he doesn't pick up on the thoughts that are going through her head, like, at that moment of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what is this? Oh, man.
And it was so gross. I hated it.
Yeah. Well, you're already at the point where, because, like, you're all in on Xander, that it's like,
Xaden.
Xaden. Normally, in the end, it would be like Tamlin, like, yes, it's finally happening. And then you're like,
Ooh.
why is this happening?
Yeah. No.
And I wonder if Xaden, like, saw that happening.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he does, yeah.
He does, and becomes incredibly jealous.
As he
incredibly
should.
jealous. Yes.
Oh.
And it's, yeah, I think it annoys him.
Okay, so then
Fully.
she goes to sleep.
Then they try and kill her, try and take her out.
Oh my god! And then you just, like, hear Taryn in her head be like, "We're coming, like, just don't do that, hold on."
Yeah.
And Jack, or no, Oren, the one
Oren.
that she gave mercy on,
Yes.
is having her in, like, a chokehold, and, like, she's barely hanging on. And then,
the shadows.
no. Then Baby Dragon.
The baby dragon comes
She's
into
like,
play.
I can do something, and freezes it. And then when it freezes, she sees Xaden come in.
Right.
And that was so good.
That was a good
thoughts.
part. You're like,
That was really
oh,
good.
shit. Like, time can stop. And you don't
Yeah.
actually, you hear the baby say, I can do something. But and maybe it flew past me. I had no idea that it was actually coming from her.
I think
I didn't pick up on it.
it was the second time I read it, so maybe I already knew and just
Maybe,
kind of
yeah.
assumed.
Right? I think it's first initially you're like, where is this coming from? Is this coming from her? But then where is it channeling from? And you're not quite sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure. Not until later on. I was like, oh, but I don't always pick up on the little things.
But then Xaden, he immediately just kills them all. Like, that's awesome.
As he
And then,
no more mercy. She already gave it once. Strike two, you out.
and
Yeah.
Terrence said the same thing.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, no, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
And then he closes the door and puts on her clothes, right? He puts her clothes on her, ties her shoes.
Yes, and gets her out of there.
And that was so cute. And then he takes her to, the higher ups, the dragons. Be like, what the hell happened? What the... she dies, I die.
Right?
Yeah.
Where were you? Hello? Like, how did they get into her room? And blah, 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 blah. And then she confesses, I saw Amber, like, in the very beginning.
And he trusts her without...
a doubt. No hesitation.
Yes.
No nothing.
And then, but meanwhile, Dane, after, like, the next day, Xaden publicly, like, displays his trust towards her and, like, calls out Amber. Meanwhile, Dane's like, no, she would never do that. Why would you even say that?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
She's like, she was definitely there. Like,
Right? Doesn't even... and the thing is, it's like, he doesn't even hesitate. Like, Amber's the one that he's been best friends with
Yeah.
the whole time. It's like, he doesn't choose, like, the person he grew up with, the one he should have the most trust for. He trusts Amber, which I think Amber and him are so alike.
Yeah.
And maybe he even had, like, feelings for her and doesn't even realize it.
And then he tries to get her memory. And she's like, whoa, what are you doing?
Tries to take it forcefully.
Yeah, and that is a huge red flag.
That is a huge red flag. Because you're not 100% sure that he might have been taking things beforehand. Mm-hmm. But I think because he tried to forcefully take it this time, mm-hmm. If you didn't pick up on it, that should have been the first clue that from then on, he was going to try and take things.
Yeah. And then she's like, all right, Taryn, can you just, like, prove to everyone that what I said was true? And then he's like, oh, like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that. Oh, I hated him.
Oh, and then they kill Amber.
Yes! That was so good. Mm. And so then, what happens after that?
Ooh. Do the dragons go in heat after that?
Does she
feel the first tingle of connection?
Oh, I loved that part though. Like, let's talk about it. So she goes outside the room. She's like, oh my God, like I haven't been laid in forever. Goes outside, sees Liam. Like, oh. Sees Liam in a different light. Oh. Man, he looks good. And then she is like, okay, wait. I need to like get back in my room or I'm going to do something I regret. And so as this like thundering desire remains, she said, oh shit, this is lust. Like she realized it. No, Liam shakes his head, just hanging out, here in the hallway. I look at him then, really honestly look at him. He's more than handsome with strong features and sky blue eyes that are startlingly beautiful. Why are you looking at me like that? He sets his knife and semi-card dragon down. Like what? My teeth sink into my bottom lip as I debate rubbing against him like a cat in heat. Oh, well, demanding he's appeased this imaginable ache. Ooh.
But he's not who she really wants. Oh, he's not Xaden. Oh my goodness. And I think like at that point in time, I died. I was like, man, I would have been like all over Liam. Like, all right, we need to scratch his itch. Yeah. Like, let's
you'll work.
Go. Second best. I'm okay with second best. Oh, because I think I could have easily fallen in love with this man. I mean, as you get to know Liam, he is like delectable in his look, in his personality. He's funny, he's loyal, he's honorable, he's strong. Mm.
And then she's like, I need some fresh air. And so she goes out there.
She's like, get me out of here.
And then she sees Xaden puffing on some smoke.
Which, like, let's just compare it. This is probably like a weed.
Yeah, he's just smoking.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, hey.
Because she figures out that he's feeling this feeling too. It's obviously not the first time for him. He's been connected to his dragon for a while now.
But he's able to block it out, but it's always still lingering. So he is definitely in on it too. And I loved this whole scene. And she says, I feel like I'm on fucking fire. He's like, yeah, that happens. Yeah.
Like, it's just like another Monday. This is the third Monday of every month. It's whatever.
No, he was like, you need to learn how to, like, block him out. Yes. Or it's going to drive you into somebody else's bench. She goes, I know. I'm, like, embarrassed to see Liam again. He's like,
Liam?
Yes, instantly the jealousy pops out. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah, he's like, where is Liam?
Right?
No, wait, I have it right here. You want me to read it?
Yes.
Oh, I know. I'm horrified to see Liam again. Liam? Why? He pivots to face me, leaning against his shoulder. Where the hell is your bodyguard? I'm my own bodyguard, I counter, resting my cheek on the icy stone. And he's in bed. Your bed? His voice is like a crack of lightning. I pry my eyes open to meet his gaze. The snow makes everything so much brighter, highlighting the furrowed line of his brow, the firm set of his mouth. No, not that it should matter to you.
I've been like, man, he is used up in my bed.
That's so funny.
Oh, but then he tries to help her learn to ground herself. Mm-hmm. And that is so sweet because it's the first touch. Where it's like he's teaching her, like, okay, how to go into your head, how to ground yourself. And when she does, it's instant and it's natural for her. And he's just like, you are astonishing. He shakes his head. I couldn't do that for weeks.
I know.
Oh, and he is like, he's amazed. And she's like, wait a minute. I'm finally only like, but I'm astonishing. Like, I haven't been good at anything.
It was her first, like, reassurance I think she got.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dane's like, you're weak.
Right.
You're not strong. But this part, can I just say that I'm going to continue on because it's so good and I feel like there's a lot to, like, talk about from this. So he's like, he's upset that the whole Liam thing. And she's like, no, not that it should matter to you. Is he jealous? That's oddly comforting. He looses a breath, his shoulders dipping. It doesn't matter to me as long as you're both consenting. And trust me, you're in no condition to consent. You have no clue what I'm capable of consenting. Undeniable, unquenchable need nearly takes me out at the knees. Xaden's arms wrap around my waist, steadying me. Why the hell aren't you shielding? Not all of us have been given lessons. He said he just started channeling before all this.
Thoughts? Like, is he hearing her?
And in case you forgot, you're only allowed to attend Professor Carr's class if you can wield. Always thought that was a ridiculous rule, he sighs. All right, crash course. Only because I've been where you are and woken up with more than a few regrets. You're actually going to help me. I've been helping you for months. His hand flexes at my waist, and I swear I can feel the warmth of his touch through my cloak and leathers. No, you sent Liam to help. He's been helping me for months. My forehead puckers. Weeks. Almost months, whatever. He has the nerve to look offended. I'm the one who burst through your door and killed everyone who attacked you. And then I removed the other threat to your life with a very public, very polarizing display of vengeance. Liam didn't do that. I did. And I was like, oh, God.
He's like, you do not need to be giving Liam credit for what I'm doing.
I did.
Because I'm in love with you.
Right? Shut that down.
Yeah.
I thought that was so good.
Oh. Anyway, can we get on to my favorite part?
Yes.
Yes.
So after he teaches her,
Oh,
she's
yeah. Oh, I know you're-
astonishing. He looks down at her mouth. They both agree that moving forward with this connection that they have, we'll both regret it. And he shakes his head, but there's more than hunger in his eyes as he stares at my lips. Naturally, I whisper, but knowing I'll regret it doesn't stop me from wanting him. Regretting is a problem for future Violet. And he goes, fuck it. 1 second he's out of reach, and the next his mouth is on mine. Hot and instant. God, yes! This is exactly what I need! Oh, man.
That was really good.
Woo!
It's so funny.
I may have to audibly read this book with the words and exaggeration.
It's so good.
Just for Annie.
Ooh, Katherine.
Oh, we're not at the juicy part yet. Let me read that out loud.
Oh my God. So they kissed her here, and then what? They kissed one more. Oh, so they have. Okay, do we even care about this part when like they do the? She goes to her mother's office and steals something. They win.
Well,
and
hold on. We have to finish So I wanted to go back and look at this part because
Okay,
apparently during this kiss, Xaden gets a look into what her power is going to be.
Oh yeah,
So,
he did know that.
Yes, and so I, of course, like I already said, have trouble sometimes picking up on the little things because I'm in the moment. I'm about this kiss. Like nothing else that going around matters except for the fact that, let's see, I think there's something that happens in the snow. Oh, here we go. I completely surrender, melting into him, and my body's going plank against his and is loose and losing that mental foothold he calls grounding. A flash of light burns behind my closed eyes, followed by the boom of thunder.
Ooh.
Thunder snow isn't uncommon around here, but but damn, does it summarize how this feels wild and out of control. And I completely
I was like, okay.
see that at all. It's like,
I
but
didn't
it's funny.
either.
It's like, I miss it.
Yeah.
She misses it. But
He does
Xaden,
not.
like, holy, like, you wonder why he pulls away. And it's like, this is it. Like, I think he sees her power. He knows, like, what's going on. And it's like, oh, snap.
It was good.
Yeah, because he tilts his head up to the sky.
It was so good.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I
Ooh.
loved that scene. It was really good because we have been building this whole time. Just building that tension. I was like, oh.
Right? And the fact that it's like, oh, but it's like I want everything, but you don't get everything. You get a snack.
I know, because he steps away. So then they do that whole battle thing when she was smart, Mom's office, they win. Then they win to be able to go to a real fight or a real, what was it, where she meets her sister.
Oh, she gets rewarded to go to the front lines at one of the base posts where her sister is at.
And her sister does not like Xaden.
Well, no.
Obviously. I wouldn't either if I was her.
Yeah.
Not knowing any better.
But Violet definitely likes him. So it's what do you guys think of that whole scene?
Well, who doesn't love the fact that Mira not only puts Dane in his place, but then, like, calls out, like, Xaden as well, except Dane, as usual, is being called out on his shit for, one, just acting petty, not acting like a leader, and it's like, I've known you long enough, like, what in the hell are you doing?
Yes.
And he's got nothing to say to it. But when she finally gets to Xaden, she's like, hey, like, my sister is losing out on experience and knowledge that she needs to be able to survive in all this. And Xaden goes, hold up. For one, my dragon dragged me here. I'm not keeping your sister from anything.
I'm the one who came here.
Right? Anything. I've been supporting her this whole time. Like, he rushes to defend, like, his position in this and, like, doesn't take her crap, which... as I think we kind of know from Mira, is there's like maybe just a morsel of respect that she gains from him in that. Like, hey, I'm not going to let you run all over me, woman, because this is how it really is. Where Dane just kind of sits there and takes it. Because he is. He's acting like a shit.
He is. You want me to find the quote? I'm in the chapter.
Oh, the whole conversation where she chews him up and spits him out? If you got it, let's go.
Shut up, Mira spins on the top step, putting her finger in Dane's face. Yes. I don't know what bug has crawled up your ass, Dane Ados, but have you forgotten that you're a squad leader? That you have a very real chance of becoming a wing leader next year? Oh shit, she's pissed. And that's not anything I want a part of. I retreat another step, but with Xaden beneath me on the stairs, there's nowhere left to go. Mira, Dane starts. Lieutenant Sorrengail, Mira responds. Ooh. You're blowing it, Dane. I know how badly you want his job next year. She points a finger at Xaden. Don't forget that we've grown up about 10 feet apart and you are blowing it. Because what? You're pissed that Violet bonded his dragon's mate? Heat stings my cheeks. Oh my god. Heat stings my cheeks. She's never been one to mince words, but just damn. He is the worst possible thing for her, Dane counters. Oh, I'm not arguing that. She leans into his space, but there's nothing anyone can do about the choices of dragons. They don't bother with the opinions of mere humans, do they? But whatever is going on between the two of you, that finger swings between Dane and me, is fucking up your squad. If I can see it after 4 days with you, then they sure as hell can tell. And if I'd known that you were going to be such a hard ass with zero flexibility for the things she can't control, I never would have told her to find you after crossing the parapet. She glances at me, then back at him. You two have been best friends since you were 5 years old. Figure your shit out. Dane is so tense he looks like he might crack in half, but he glances at me and nods.
That's the thing. It's like, I think deep down... he is just petty.
Yeah.
He is petty.
He's the worst possible thing for her.
Yeah, but it's like, you need to look at the bigger picture here, douche.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, this isn't about you. And you're making it all about you. You want her safe. You don't want her to move forward in this. You don't want her to bond with these dragons or 2 dragons. You don't want her with him. You.
Yeah.
And it's like you've made it so much about you that now it's interfering with your job. And if if I can see it, other people can see it. So like, stop being an ass about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I have the Xaden one. Do you want me to read it? Yeah. Okay. That won't happen, I promise her. It will if he has anything to say about it. Her gaze flickers behind me. Killing someone isn't the only way to destroy them. Keeping you from reaching your potential seems like a great path to the retribution he swore against our mother. Think long and hard. How well do you even really know him? I suck in a breath. I trust Xaden. At least I think I do. But Mira's right. There are infinite ways to demolish someone without ending their life. That's what I thought. The look in her eyes turns to something worse than anger. It's pity. Do you even know why he hates our mother so much? Why the kids like him are on the parapet? I'm right here, Xaden interrupts, rising to the same step to stand at my side. In case you didn't notice, you're kind of hard to miss, she retorts. You're not listening. His voice lowers. I am here. Taryn didn't drag her back to Basgiath. He didn't break through her shields and pour his emotions into her. He didn't demand she fly across the fucking kingdom. Your sister is still right here. I'm the one who left my post, my position, and my executive officer in charge of my wing. She's not missing out on shit.
Yes. I love that he feeds it right back to her. Because, yes, you don't like him, and we all kind of understand, like, the awkward dynamic between, like, family members who have died because of other family members. But at this point, again, Mira, there's nothing she can do about it.
Yes.
Just like you told Dane. It's like, but you're taking everything out on
It's like, she's going to miss so much because they're a mated dragon pair. It's like, stop. The only one who's missing out on things is Xaden.
Right.
He's here.
Oh.
And then he kisses her because an attack happens.
Oh, kissing her on that roof. Oh, man.
That was cruel, but like, I loved it, but it was cruel.
It was cruel because there's a big part of you that wants her to stay and fight because you can't help but having this like looming feeling like, what if her sister dies? Yeah. Like, there's a huge possibility that her sister could die in this
and she wants to stay and help.
She wants to help stay and fight. But you also understand, like, they're all first year. They've got, like, no training. They've all just bonded with their dragons. Like, the connection's not deep enough to where, like, the dragon would die if the rider died. But, I mean, like, you really want to take that chance.
And so he kisses her to distract her.
Yes.
I did not expect that when I read it for the first time. And I was just as, like, felt betrayed. I was like, wait, that was just for a distraction? I thought he actually, bleh, whatever.
Right? You're like, you thought it actually meant something. Oh, that's
And she's
tough.
pissed.
Oh yeah, I would be mad too though. I would be so wrecked having to leave behind like your family member that could like easily die.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the first time that Dane decides that he's gonna like trust Xaden to get her out, which is interesting that he would be okay with this now, but I don't think he realizes that she's fully chosen him.
Yeah.
So if anything, like,
but like, I think he was
her
distracting her, but also I think he wanted it too, and he was just like hiding behind that it was a distraction as well. Do you think a little bit or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So then we move on.
An excuse.
And she gets her power. She rides the dragon, but she gets it by killing Jack or Luke. Luke.
I'm sorry. No, his name is Jack.
Jack.
His name is Jack. Well, what happens is, like, because Jack stabs
Liam, yeah.
Liam.
Oh, Annie, let me through.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's one thing to go after me, but you went after my friends. Like, if anything, like, that's what snaps it open, and that's what gets her in this, like, revengeful anger. Because, like, anyone can be mad when someone, questions your honor or tries to come up and get you. But it's like a whole different thing. I mean, they mention it more than once, like, as amazing Liam is, like, he's the best of us, he's honorable, and then you have this ace-hole coming to, like, kill him, and you're like, oh, motherfucker! Like,
Oh my god.
And it's instantaneous. Like, you can just see in the scene, like, her rising up with Tyrion and being like, bam! Like, the lightning just shooting out and taking down the tower. And it's like, bye-bye.
But she was upset about it.
Oh,
she was distraught.
yes.
Annie, what do you
Absolutely.
think?
But, like...
I said Annie.
Oh, sorry. The scene.
Made me sound mad, honestly. But, like, poor Liam.
Yeah.
Poor Liam.
But he's okay.
I know.
For now.
Not for the whole thing, though. But, like,
Oh.
I'm so, like, kind of what Catherine was saying, but, like, I'm so, like, protective over, like, my friends and, like, the people I care about and all this stuff. Like, it's one thing to fuck with me, but, like, you fuck with my friends. I swear to God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I think about that.
And then she unlocks her power. Were you guys expecting lightning?
No.
No.
Like, how would you guess that?
True.
Like,
True.
You would have had to pick up on the lightning in the snow.
Yeah, but-
from earlier.
So, like, when I had read that part, like, I mean, obviously when I reread it the second time, I was like, oh. But, like, when I read it the first time, I was like, I just assumed, I was like, oh, that's an interesting coincidence, the fact that there's, like, thunder and lightning right now. Like, whoa. I was like, that's so cheesy of the author.
Yeah, wow, what a dramatic moment.
Yeah, but now,
I'm like, okay.
that was clever.
And she was so upset that she killed someone because it was her first kill ever. And Xaden's like, you gotta get used to that, babe.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but like you see her reveal that the dragon is truly the one, giving her the time stop power.
Yes.
Where she can like save Liam.
But why she was so distraught was that the power that she like harnessed from the dragon is all her. And she thought that she'd be like a healer, like her brother.
Right.
And like have that like scribe and like heal people and mend things together. But she like doesn't want to be like her mom and like that violence. And she found out that like that is who she is.
Right.
Like the dragon didn't choose that.
Yeah.
That's all her. And she was
Yeah.
upset about it. And then Xaden kind of like helps her.
I think that would have upset me as well. I would have been a little upset with maybe the crazy power that I have. I don't know if I would have mourned Jack like she did.
It was her first kill.
So,
I
should have killed him
I
earlier.
get that. Like, I do, but it's like she didn't feel that way when she watched Oren die. Now, granted, she didn't do it.
No.
But it's like 6 people died in front of you. People have been dying in front of you. And yes, you took out this person, but this was like absolute evil, girl.
But also, when Oren was attacking her, every wound she inflicted was not fatal.
Yeah.
She purposely avoided it.
Right.
And then she just couldn't do it anymore. And I think it was just... I think she was just fearing that she'd be like her mom.
This is true.
So then how did we end
Well,
up
we're not
with...
in that position, so
How
it's
did
like-
we end up with Xaden in her room? Because that's where it leads. Oh. Here, it happens
Chapter-
right here.
yeah, I'm on page 368.
I'm on 365. You don't have to use your power, V. Dane starts, his voice soft and comforting. Stop
excuse me?
fucking coddling her, Xaden bites out every word at Dane.
Yeah.
She is not a child. She's a full-grown woman, a writer. Start treating her like one, and at least have the decency to give her the truth. You think Melgren or any other general, to include her own mother, is going to let her sit on a power like this? It's not like she can hide it, not the way she just demolished one of the practice forts. You want her to be just like you, Dane argues, a cold-blooded killer. Soon you'll be telling her that it's all right. You get used to the killing. And I'm like, jeez.
He's not preparing her for the real world.
He's not.
In my sense, it's like and she mentions it to Dane a couple of times. This place will carve you down to the bone, and show you like who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'd be most devastated in. Like, is this power really showing me that I am a true-blooded killer? But it's like there's a lot of other things.
Well,
that
he
I think
says
lead
it
her to believe
here.
it's not.
I start to shake my head, but his eyes narrow in mine. You might not like it, might even loathe it, but it's power like yours that save lives. By killing people, I cry. He said, by invading armies before they get the chance to hurt civilians.
Right.
And that's what Xaden shows, and I think it's so great because when she comes to both of them, she's coming at it with like, I don't like this power. I feel horrible. I wanted to be a healer. Yeah. But Dane
all
comes
of them
at it
do.
saying, just don't use it.
Yeah, you're gonna
don't have
hurt
to.
people. You should hide away. Not.
He should hide away. I'm gonna hurt you. I hate him so much.
Meanwhile, Xaden's like, hey, you can actually use this to what you want to be, to save people.
Yes.
And I love that he turns it for the good.
Yeah.
And then somehow he ends up in a room. I forget how that happens.
He's such a Tamlin.
He is!
Oh, he's such a Tamlin.
Because like, you have no reason to dislike him at first, but you just have like this
It's like, okay.
feeling. You're
Yeah.
just like, something's just off. And then it slowly gets worse and worse and worse. And then you just hate this guy.
I loathe him.
Like, I just want him gone.
I want to say that Xaden comes to her room because he's concerned, like,
After-
about her.
Yeah.
like,
after
Well, she
everything that's
comes
going
at
on.
it
Yeah.
with, like, concern and she's upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Xaden comes to her room because he's like, he wants to check in on her, like, after, you know, like, Liam almost dying, and then, like,
Oh, yeah, she's, like, brushing her hair. She's brushing her
She-
hair.
she's throwing daggers.
Oh, yeah. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, you want me? Am I the target there?
Yeah, he
she's
said,
like,
imagining that's me, and then says, keeping my eyes locked on his, I fling the dagger at the target. The satisfying sound of split wood tells me I hit true. Fuck, that's hotter than it should be. And then basically he's just like saying, like, you know, like they talk a little bit about what had happened today, like with the lightning and Jack
Yeah.
and Liam and all that stuff, and then
And then it begins. Who starts it? She does.
he says, he takes hold of my hands and brings them to his chest. So do whatever you need to get it out. You want to yell at me. You want to hit something? Hit me. I can take it. Hitting him is the last thing I want to do, and suddenly I'm done fighting it. Come on, he whispers. Show me what you've got. I surge up on my toes and kiss him.
Oh!
That's so
Man,
good.
show me what you were doing.
Rebecca!
Rebecca!
That was really good. And then they just break the whole room. And he takes his shadows to help, like, protect her from, like, her destroying her room with lightning while the whole thing is going on. I was like, this is so good.
I know. I think it's so funny, like, afterwards, they're dragons, like, Tear, and he's like, so,
Yeah.
the wing leader, right?
Hey, you said to do whatever I need. I arch my back, pressing the tips of my breasts against his chest. His breathing changes, and there's a war in his eyes that I'm determined to win.
I love
this girl is going at it. She's
No,
like,
for real.
we ain't stopping this time.
Well, she's been through the trenches of just, like, this horniness the whole book, saying, I
Me
hate him,
too.
but, like, God, it looks good.
Right? Oh man.
Here,
Like,
fix
he tries
the...
to stop at the beginning. He's like, I'm telling you I'm the last thing you need. And she's like, are you suggesting someone else? And he said, fuck no. I just loved, like, jealousy in that
Yeah.
aspect. Like,
Yeah.
there's a line, and man, he is just...
Oh, yeah.
I keep reading Annie.
A mistakable flare of jealousy narrows his eyes for a heartbeat before his hips pin mine to the door, and my instant relief at his answer is replaced by a jolt of pure lust. I can see that infamous control of his hovering on the edge, balancing precariously on the point of a knife. All he needs is one little push, and I'm about to shamelessly shove.
That's so
That's our
funny.
girl.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh man.
And then she's like, "You want to stay the night?" And they both like go separate ways to like get like cleaned up, and they come back. And I think it's so cute that he comes back and decides to sleep with her.
Thing that happens.
Okay.
Oh.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, fuck me this
When they're
hair,
talking-
he says. Yeah.
When they're talking about the lightning
Yeah.
at the end of like the whole like sex scene. So she's like, wait, he said, oh yeah, she said, "Why did you guess I could wield lightning? He stretches just enough to tuck my head under his chin. I thought you did it the first night Taryn channeled power to you, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't say anything." Really? I blink. Thinking back, my brain is full of pleasant, dull hum as sleep fights to pull me under. When my eyes drift shut, his arms tighten around me as he tucks me closer, the backs of my thighs pressing tight against his pants as I start to drift off. "The first time you kissed me."
Oh.
Such a
so
little
it's like-
sweetheart.
No.
So if anything, if you didn't know it when you read it the first time, like this obviously gives it away that like he knew. So it's like that lightning in the background was not just from the snow, because lightning doesn't happen in snow.
That's how. Oh yeah, it's sand. But
I mean, come on.
gosh. But I think at this point when I was reading, I was like, he's got some secrets that I know are about to be blown up in her face.
Right.
Because I think Mira started that whole question. He's like, "You know nothing about him."
Right.
And then she keeps trying to ask questions, trying to get to know him, because she really realizes she really doesn't. And he doesn't give any answers.
Yeah.
He does finally discuss like the scars on his back.
Yeah, how he 107 children.
107.
Yeah.
107 lashes. It's crazy.
Yes.
I feel like every like really hot guy has some scars that need explaining.
Yeah.
Just like a rule of thumb.
Yeah. How'd you get these?
Yeah.
Well, there's this torment and trauma that he has been through.
Mm-hmm.
That it's true. She knows nothing about, because she has believed that her government is faithful, that her being a scribe was all the true knowledge she ever needed. But like he knows the truth. It's like, I don't know like why some of our parents were even killed. I mean, why did they kill Liam's dad? Like they hunted him down even though he wasn't a part of it at all and killed him. So it's like, that should tell you something fishy right there, that it's like something's going on. And then to just, nonchalantly like leave important information out in briefings, which they catch. Oh, it's like, I mean,
I think she's finally clicking the pieces together as this all is happening. But so she like kind of is like, oh, like I can be like friends with benefits. Like I'm an adult. Like I don't like feelings. No, like this is purely just physical. And they just kind of like go into that whole dynamic. And then like what major happens after that? Doesn't he walk on the parapet and like is all sad?
Yes.
Yes. All right, you find that quote.
Okay.
Because she graduates, right? Is that what happens?
no, she doesn't graduate.
It's conscription day, whatever that is.
conscription. Well, it's the holiday of basically the death of his parents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, or not his parents, I apologize. Of the death of his dad. And it's like they're celebrating all of this.
And he's sitting on the parapet, kind of just like mourning
and
this
she
day.
walks out, and he's a little mad that she puts her life in danger, by the way.
He's like, I just want to be alone.
right? But like,
But
the
she
fact
wants
that
to get
she
to know him.
doesn't-
Yeah.
She doesn't let him. Like, she's like, she knows deep down that he is taking care of all these kids that are a part of the rebellion. She's like, but who takes care of him? Oh.
That was good.
Oh, and then she drags him back to his room, like, you're coming with me.
Yeah. That was good.
Oh, man. It's like, and I think he likes it for the first time, like, she's the boss. Coming with me, man.
Okay.
You found it?
I found it. And
What page is this?
I'm on 408 right
Okay.
now. But like he's sitting on the parapet and she sees him, so she walks out to him. He's like, "Violence?" He's like, "Violence?" He said, "Turn around, go back." And she's like, "Only if you do. I want to be wherever you are. And I mean it. Everyone else, everything else in the world can fall away, and I won't care as long as I'm with him." And then he calls her Violets again. I like that nickname.
Yeah, it's good.
I know why you said you don't see a future for us. My heart races like it's trying to take flight as I blurt out the words. Do you? Of course he isn't going to make this easy. I'm not sure the man even knows what easy is. You want me, I say, looking him in the eyes. And no, I'm not just talking about in bed. You want me, Xaden Riorson. You might not say it, but you do want better and show it. You show it every time you choose to trust me, every time your eyes linger on mine. You show it with every sparring lesson you don't have time for, and every flight lesson that pulls you away from your own studies. You show it when you refuse to touch me because you're worried I don't really want you. Then show it again when you take the time to hunt down Violets before a leadership meeting so I don't wake up feeling alone. You show it in a million different ways. Please don't deny it. That's so cute!
Oh, you're seriously going to be the death of me.
Oh, I love that.
Oh.
You're seriously going to be the death of me.
Oh,
Jeez.
man. So she drags him back. Oh, to his room. Oh, my goodness.
When the romance really begins.
Oh, right. Well, she takes off his boots, which is like,
I love
taking
it.
care of you. Oh,
Because I feel like he has so much weight of taking care of other people.
Right.
And all the rebels are so much.
right. And she says on there, like, I'm not going to be the only vulnerable one out here on this ledge. This is when he knits, because they're talking about jealousy, how
Ooh.
she's jealous of
Imogen, yeah.
And he's like, well, hello, like, I just admitted this jealousy. And he grumbles, dragging his gaze back to mine. I saw Anthos kiss you during or after threshing, and I nearly lost my shit. And if I didn't already love him, that was it. I've wanted you from the second I saw you, Violence, he admits. And if I was short with you today, well, this is just a shit day. Oh, so
that's
he
good.
admits it. Admits it. Oh.
I don't deserve you, but I'm gonna keep you all the same.
Oh, okay. So who doesn't love that?
That is really, really
Oh.
sweet. So, like, I love that. I think it's really symbolic, too, that they're on the parapet of just, like, this vulnerability and, like, how dangerous it feels when you're being vulnerable. It almost feels like you're, like, kind of, like, you can die if they, like, what's the word? They don't accept you for, like, your vulnerability. You know? And I think it's really cute that they're there. And it's where it all began. It's a great spot.
It is a great spot. Good job, Rebecca.
Rebecca. Good job.
So I love it when they're heading back to his room and she uses like his words against him. Like, oh, what made you think that I gave a shit about what anybody
Yeah.
said?
That's good. Yeah, they do say that.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it. Leaving his hair, I sink to my knees before him. Violet. I'm just taking off your boots.
She
And
does do that,
So
yeah.
this scene automatically makes me think, because he's been trying to fight her for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think back to the cafeteria scene where she's staring at him and he's like, stop looking at me like
Yes,
that.
he does do
And she's
that.
like, how am I looking at you? And he's like, you know exactly. She's like I want to slip down my knees and suck on you. And he's like,
Yes, I do remember that. And it's all in the head, too. They're
yes.
The
So
tension.
I love it that you leave that out, Rebecca, and he just dies.
Yeah.
He just dies. And so, like, you know that he can't help but think as she's slipping to her knees, like,
Yeah.
I'm just taking off your boots.
I love that she's...
Damn it. Oh, and then he notices, like, the slit in her skirt and her
Yeah.
dress. It's like, well, I was kind of staring at your backside the whole time. Oh, man. Okay, anyway. So, guess what? They get it on again. Should we keep moving?
Yeah.
We
So
probably
then...
should.
I forget where we're at. Can someone go to 426 with me? And it's
Yeah,
right before
yeah.
chapter 34. Where are we in the story when Dane finds out?
Oh, so Dane finds out because they get called to the emergency meeting that there's been an attack. They find out it's the War Games.
Oh, and she has like his jacket on or something?
She has his jacket, and so her bestie's trying to cover it up the whole time. But it's not until orders are given out. And Xander's like, no, like, she's coming with me. And Dane's like, no, she's not. Like, she's coming with us. And she finally is like,
the War Games, that's what it is.
yes. And so she basically is like, no, like, I'm going to go with him.
Found it. I found it.
What
So,
page is it?
I'm on 430. So Xaden wants Violet to go with him to headquarters, and Dane's like, no, whatever. And then she goes, stop. I put my hand on Xaden's arm. Xaden, stop. If you want me to go with you, I'll go. It's that simple. His gaze shifts to meet mine and immediately softens. No fucking way, Dane whispers, but it reverberates in my bones like a lightning strike. I pivot, dropping my hand from Xaden's arm, but it's obvious Dane's expression that he now knows there's something between Xaden and me, and he's hurt. My stomach hits the ground. Dane. Him? Dane's eyes widen and his face flushes. You and him? He shakes his head. People talk. And I thought that's all it was, but you? Disappointment drops his shoulders. Don't go, Violet, please. He's going to get you killed. Like, no.
No, he's not.
He literally just found out that they're together, and his first thought is like, oh, like, I know you guys are fucking, but Xaden's gonna get you killed. No. You think he's gonna give up that good stuff? Like, no.
Well, it's like, so how dumb are we? Already know Dane's pretty dumb, and he's pretty self-absorbed and like a complete ass. But have we reached the point where Dane has read her mind and has given obviously this name to his dad? It alludes to it because he says, I'm gonna miss you, Violet. Like, is that really his goodbye?
Yes. Yeah.
So ridiculous.
I mean, come on. So it's like, does he realize that it's like, you're talking about Xaden getting her killed, but it's your father who has set up this thing. So here's where the friendship seems to 100% shatter for me. Because you hate him so much that you're willing to sacrifice your best friend. Because at this point in time, like, he could have been like, hey, step aside. Come, like, I'm going to tell you. He's like, hey, my dad has told me they're clearing this space out. Like, there's going to be an attack. Like, you can't go. Everyone is going to die. Like, but he doesn't. He doesn't give her any hint except, like...
And he just lets her go.
I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, I think it's because, like, he really didn't want her to go. And then he was like, wait, her and Xaden are together. You know what? And fine.
He feels betrayed.
Go then.
Yeah, I think he feels betrayed.
Yeah.
But it's like,
What?
She feels betrayed. He was using her. He was literally reading her mind and just using her without her knowledge. That is
without her
betrayal.
consent.
Right?
Real betrayal.
Well, but the thing is, it's like, so you know how they talk about this saying where, what is it? Like the path to good intentions is the pathway to hell. So I think.
Wait, did we say this part? Dane looks horrified for a second, but quickly basket. If he's what you choose, he sighs, then I guess that has to be enough for me, doesn't it? Yes, I nod. Thank God all this nonsense is about to be past us. He swallows hard and leans in to whisper, I'll miss you, Violet. Then he pivots on his heel and heads for the cath. Thank you for trusting me, Xaden says as I reach for Terran's foreleg. Always. We have to ride. But isn't Xaden kind of holding something back, too? Isn't that kind of bold of him to say thank you for trusting me?
Right? Like, thank you for trusting me, except, like, by the way, when we get there, the truth is going to open up like a...
But thanks for trusting me.
Right? Well, I think deep down, maybe he's got this unrealistic hope that he's going to be able to, like, reveal the truth to her. And because she trusts him and loves him, that she is going to be able to accept this truth. Even though it might be hard to swallow.
But I feel like that's something she should have known before she got on that dragon.
Right?
That was the perfect time on the parapet to, like, talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah, no.
But he
No, you
still took her. But he still let her take him to bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man ain't gonna say no.
But like, that's deceitful.
Oh, it is. Like, it's 100% defeat. She doesn't realize that she's being deceived by both men.
By both.
One unknowingly. Because obviously Dane, because he's psychotic, no, he thinks that these little tidbits that he's taking from her is for the greater good. You know, hey, and he's probably using her. Again, he hates him so much, he is using her to destroy him.
He's delusional.
And because she is now connected to him, she has to die with him because he is so bad. It doesn't matter that they're best friends or were best friends or at any case. Yeah.
They're definitely not friends anymore.
So then they land, and Kathy, you want to walk us through what happens?
The bad guys, good guys arrive early. So what are they called that they ride?
The Griffins.
The Griffins.
Griffins.
So all of a sudden she thinks that they're gonna have like this little moment by the boulder.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
She's like, all right.
This is like a major romance block here. We're thinking we're gonna go into this awesome scene, and here appears what we think are these bad guys showing up unexpectedly. She goes on the defense, obviously.
Yeah.
Rolls into, wait a minute, we're helping them? Wait a minute, they're the good guys? Wait a minute, these folklore stories that my dad has been feeding me for years, I didn't think were true, are true. Like, everything is true. And you can just tell her she is having such a hard time.
Her world's been flipped.
Just processing everything that, I would be so pissed.
Oh, yeah.
So mad. It's like, at any point in time, you couldn't have even hinted. Like, you found the letter from my dad with me. You're talking about moments to come clean. Maybe on the bridge of death. That might not have been it, because I think I would have shoved him off. But you're in, like, my bedroom with me, and I find this note from my dad that obviously there's something about these stories that are true. And you don't come clean about anything. Be like, look, like, at least to hint, like, hey, like, Violet, you don't know this yet, but, like, I have seen these things and, like, they're real. Like, I mean, you could have probably solely found out the other information, like, hey, by the way, I'm helping our so-called enemy with weapons. Because that's what she's mad about first. We're supplying the enemy weapons?
Yeah.
Against our kingdom? And it's like,
and that's why he was
in
in fighting leathers that's why he was late to save her when the 6 people ambushed her. Because he was giving them some weapons.
That's right. And so you just...
She says, I'm sorry about this, Violet, Liam says to her. Why the hell is everyone apologizing? Let me go, I demand as Xaden strides towards the pair of Griffin riders. And then I love the way she ended it, though. Fear from his grip, I spin towards the field as Xaden reaches the riders. You're fucking early, he says, and my heart stops.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how...
So, like, it's not like he was putting, like, knowing that she was going to see this. Like, he didn't want her to see that, which is even, like, deceitful times 2.
Yep. But it's like... How in the world did he think that he was going to get this past her?
He says, yes, I should have told you months ago, but I couldn't. I'm risking everything by telling you now. Because you have to, not because you want to. Because if your best friend sees this memory, everything is lost, he interrupts, and I gasp. You don't know that. Dane wouldn't break a rule to save your life, Violet. Why? What do you think he'd do if he had this knowledge? And she said, what would Dane do?
And it's true. I mean, Dane was willing to give up just a name that Xander gave her. He gave her one name. She's asked him, like, where did you go? And all he did was give her a name. And Dane took that and led to trying to kill, like, a whole squad.
Yeah. And he's been caressing her cheek the whole time. And I bet Xaden knew that. And he's like, I can't tell her because... Or he should have, like, let her know. Yeah. Be like, hey, he should have stopped them. Be like, hey, Dane, don't do that. Do you see what he's doing?
Yeah, I would have called him.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Xaden should have done. He should have told Violet what Dane was doing so that she could stop Dane from doing it and then tell her the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree.
Like, such an easy solution.
I know. And she's just pissed.
I'd be pissed too.
I would be too.
But honestly, I feel like she holds this grudge for a little too long.
Oh, yeah. Because, all right, we're almost at the end. The
Right.
big battle scene happens,
the big
right?
battle scene. Oh,
I feel like once I heard the reasoning that Xaden gave about, like, what is actually happening and, like, why you couldn't tell. And Dane is a great defense because I was curious what his defense was. It's like, why did you hide this? And I think that's a good... I think, like, I would have been annoyed. I would have felt... whatever the word is. Deceitful? Deceited?
Right.
But I think I would have gotten over it. But we go into the battle scene, and she's not really over it. But
No.
they're in it, and they got ambushed by Dane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Severin, what's it called? Vernum?
Venin.
Venin. The Venin.
Venin.
Well, I couldn't help but being mad either. She's grown up unknowingly knowing a lot about these creatures.
Yeah. Well, she didn't know the Venin existed. That was supposed to be a myth.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but
like,
she's
what do
been
you mean?
groomed to
Yeah.
know this. And if her mind is supposed to be, like, again, her most valuable possession, I mean, she even knew about the
Widow, yeah.
We're butchering this, by the way, these names very much. The flying evil creature.
Yes.
I mean, she knew about them. She even called it out. She was like, wait, if they're real,
Mm-hmm.
are these real also? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, no. It's like, yes, they are. It's like, so she probably felt,
Wyvern.
Yeah.
Wyvern.
Yes,
Whatever.
yeah.
Wyvern.
Anyway, yeah, I would have felt like, hey, I could have totally helped us out in this
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
And
And she does in the battle. Walk us
she
through
does
the
in
battle,
'cause
Catherine.
She ends up adding
Yeah.
things to each other. I mean, let's theorize this for a moment.
Okay.
Because not only do we see one of them suck the magic from the ground and
Yeah.
take out one of the dragons and her friends,
Yeah.
does that not conclude back to the three brothers? Where the one, because he's jealous of his brother who's able to take power from the sky.
Yes.
Hint, hint. And then you've got the other who is able to, like, channel the power through the dragons.
Yeah.
Evil brother channeling power through the ground from the earth. I mean, so who thinks that maybe her dad is like the ancestor of one of these brothers?
Yeah. Wait, was this in the book?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is all part of the fables. So here is where this Venin has gotten on the back of Taryn,
Yeah.
her dragon, and they're fighting. She gets stabbed with the knife, like in her side. She realizes it's poison because it starts to burn. And the Venin looks at her and she says, "Such untapped power. No wonder we were called here. You could command the sky to surrender all its power, and I bet you don't know what to do with it, do you?"
That sounds so
So
good.
this is the incredible thing. So not only does this Venin call her out, like, on her true potential, but hello, no wonder we were called here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, is she a beacon? No.
What's a
But it's like-
beacon?
so you know how when it's late at night and you put out, like, a light and the bugs flock to it?
Oh, yeah.
She's a beacon, I
Right.
wonder.
But didn't Dane's, like, dad or whatever tell them to go?
Yes, but the reason why they were there, like,
Was because they wanted all of, like Xaden and all of the, what are they called? Rebellion people.
yeah, to
All of
be,
them
like,
to be
attacked and
dead.
killed. Well, I'm not saying that they may not have known that there would have been, like, an attack there, but because they were obviously searching for something in the clock tower, in the tower.
Yeah.
But I also, maybe they didn't suspect her to be there, but they also...
But then, like, Scale falls, and... No, who falls? Because I thought Xaden was with Scale, and she's, like, dying. And so is Liam. And then Liam dies because his dragon dies.
Yeah, that's literally the part that I'm, like...
Oh, read
really
it!
sad about right now. Okay, so... Violet is seeing Liam and his dragon get attacked. And so she calls out to Xaden, and she's like, Xaden, you need to, like, get over here right now. Like, I need help. And he's, like, literally, he's like, I can't. Like, all these citizens are going to die if I leave right now. And so then she's trying to help. And poor Day, which is Liam's dragon. So Day is, like, screaming and is being shredded, and the talons are getting thrown into her. Poor Day, oh my god. And then it says, Day screams again, this sound weaker and higher pitched than the last. It's a cry. And then Liam yells, he's dying, and lunges across Taryn's back, reaching for his dragon, as if he could touch the red dagger tail one last time. And then, just hold, I start, but Day's shriek of pain closes my throat, strangling the words. He's being eviscerated, and there's nothing we can do. The wyvern roars in victory, a heartbeat before they crash into the hillside with a sickening thud. The wyvern limps away on its hind legs, and the talons that tip its wings. Day doesn't move. Liam's raw scream shatters my heart, and Taryn flares his wings, banking hard to keep us from the same gruesome fate. And then, because Day is dead, so then she reaches out to Xaden again. She goes, Day's gone, I cry to Xaden, my voice a trembling mess. Liam is dying. No, I feel his terror, his sorrow, and his overpowering anger wrap around my mind, mixing with my own until it hurts to breathe. Minutes. We have minutes. And then she's telling him to hang on and hold on because she doesn't want him to die. And she wants to get him to the body of his dagger tail. And she's like crying. She's like, Taryn, tell me what I can do. And there's nothing you can do, Silver One. Xaden shows up. Xaden lowers Liam, sitting him against Day's unblemished shoulder, then kneels beside him, nodding slowly at whatever Liam has said. Liam's head rolls slowly as they both look. Xaden's head bows, and my breath freezes in my lungs as shadows momentarily whip out around him, like a blast of menace and sorrow. Seconds later, his soundless, soul-rending scream fills my head with such force that my heart shatters like a glass against a stone floor. I don't need to ask. Liam is gone.
Oh
my god!
That's so sad.
Oh, well, I'm just in shock. Like, I almost don't believe it.
It was so sad.
And I just kept reading, and my face, like, my hand is over my mouth.
Yeah.
No, I kept thinking until, like, he was actually dead, I kept thinking, I was like, they're gonna find a way.
They're gonna, but they just didn't.
She's gonna save him. This is gonna be some Rapunzel shit or something.
Where's the lightning?
No, literally.
But she couldn't use her lightning because her lightning brings death, and she wanted to be a healer where it brings... She could have saved him if she was a healer. So then she is extremely upset. And what does she do? But what does she do?
Vengeance is mine!
Yes.
She loses her shit.
Yes.
And
she's like, let's go.
Yes. Her and Taryn are going out. And so is Xaden, obviously. And... Oh my god.
So Xaden stops a bunch of the... Wyverns from attacking, and so that way Violet's got enough time to get on Taryn and head out, and she figures out that she's gonna have to use her lightning.
One is tied to all.
Yes, one is tied to all. So she said, I don't have to, I tell him. Didn't you hear what the Venin said? I can command the sky to to surrender all its power, but I'm going to need every ounce of yours to do it. And I release my signet, right?
Yeah, that's her
and
power.
Strike once, and she keeps going, and it's like she ends up almost like burning herself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she ends falling.
Yeah.
She does. It ends the chapter with her falling.
It does. It does.
It's because she was, like, super hurt, but she was, like, pushing through because she was like, I need to save them all, whatever. And then it says, like, knowing they'll all live, I let gravity claim my body inside from Terrence's back. She's like, yep.
She's
Bye-bye.
done.
All right, Violet. I hear Xander's screams as I fall.
And then, like, she's basically dying, whatever, and then we switch to Xaden's point of view.
And that was interesting.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, because this is the first time we've kind of heard from him
Yeah.
in that way. Well, I mean, it goes to her because she talks about, like, I think I might die today.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, Terrence saves her.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they end up...
She's in the healing ward.
Yeah, she's getting healed. He's, like, all pissed out and, like,
He's
whatever.
like, Liam is dead. You have to
stomping
save
around.
her.
Yep. And then she's okay. And he, like, goes into her room and they're talking, whatever.
Mm.
And she's like, he says, you still love me. It's possible. And gods do I ache to kiss her to remind her exactly what we are together, but I won't. Not until she asks. I'm not afraid of hard work, especially not when I know just how sweet the rewards are. I would rather lose this entire war than live without you. And if that means I have to prove myself over and over, then I'll do it. You gave me your heart and I'm keeping it. She already owns mine, even if she doesn't realize it.
Why don't you tell her, jackass?
I know,
Yeah.
for real. And then somebody knocks on the door and says, then they knock again, and he goes, fuck, is he impatient? You have about 20 seconds to ask a question if I know him. She blinks. Then she asks a question, but we don't care about that. And the response is that definitely wasn't an accident, little sister, he says from the doorway. I sigh and move to the side, watching Violet's eyes widen as she sees him standing in the doorway. Told you I knew better, poison masters, I tell her softly. You weren't healed, you were mended. Brennan? She stares at her brother in open-mouthed shock. Brennan just grins and opens his arms. Welcome to the revolution.
Welcome to the revolution!
Yes!
Oh, it's so good.
I'm sorry. I'm sure there are smarter people than I who saw that coming, but I was like, say what?
No.
Say what?
I did not see that coming at all, personally. And then I read that, I was like, yeah, so.
Right? But you know some things, like, before we get to finding out that her brother is, I don't know, alive, like, he's showing her reaction of waking up and she's realizing, like, where she is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hold on, what is this place? And he's trying to, like, help her out because he's obviously been lying to her for a little while now. So she's like, this looks like, what is it called, the place? Areta?
Wouldn't know.
The kingdom. So this
Yeah.
looks like Areta. She gestures to the window. There's only one temple with those particular columns.
Yeah.
I've seen the drawings. And he's like, yes, brilliant fucking woman.
I love that.
Arnetta was burned to the ground. She's like, I've seen those drawings too. The ones the scribes brought back for public notice. And it's like, stone doesn't burn. And it's just like crazy, like, and you realize, and it's like, oh my goodness, there's more people that could be alive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
And do you guys see that there's a new
Oh, and then she realizes her government's lying even more. Because
Oh,
if this place
definitely.
is still standing, because when 3 or more rebellions are gathered, the governor can't see anything that's going on.
Yeah.
So he has no idea. He had no idea about the battle that they just experienced. They don't know how it ending. And they also have no idea this kingdom is being rebuilt and
Yeah.
exists. Oh my gosh. My goodness.
Okay, well, what do we all rate it?
Okay.
Catherine?
Oh,
Well-
I mean, obviously people are out there getting dragon tattoos. Let's just
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
that. I mean,
It's
you've
like
got the water bottles,
Divergent
the
all
hoodies.
over again with
Yeah.
the little bird tattoos.
No, Divergent does not touch this book in any way, shape, or form.
It helped
Like,
form it.
No, this is. I mean, this is good. This is
Out of 10.
almost- Ooh, good.
Obviously, Akatar, Throne of Glass, Sarah J. Maas is a 10 for you.
Yeah.
Well, Akatar was definitely a 10 for me.
Okay, so that's your 10.
But
What is this?
oh man, this might also be a 10 for me.
Ooh.
Well, because Sarah J. Maas pisses me off in the fact that she goes so freaking slow in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it just takes me forever to get there. But then I
Yeah.
do get there and it's amazing. This
Yeah.
is like instantaneous like love.
Yeah.
This is like you're loving these characters, you're loving these scenes and the dynamics and the growth of the
Yeah.
characters and the dragons and then people just dying left and right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and who doesn't love a spicy scene that is like just real?
Yeah.
It feels real.
So what's your number?
Oh, this is gonna be a 10 for me.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Crescent
Annie.
City has just dropped several
Yes.
notches for me.
Yeah.
I even want to say like Throne of Glass may have like dropped like 1. That might be like an 8 now.
All right, what's your rating?
I think I might also give this a 10.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Like I can't think of a reason not to.
Yeah.
Like I just enjoyed like everything about it.
Ooh.
So,
I think I would give it,
Or you're a little more hard than we
Yeah.
are.
I would give it an 8.
Okay, that's
And
really high for Dana. if you
It
don't
is
know.
really high. I thought it was really good.
Why isn't it a 10?
Because I think it could definitely be perfected. Like the side characters were non-existent, and like in this world, like I could like see past like it's not meant to be like a high fantasy, world building. It's a romantasy. So like
Yeah.
as a romantasy, it's really good. But like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best book, like there's no faults. It can't be a 10.
Right.
But I think for what it is, it's the best it could be. I don't know how she could make it more. It'd go out of the category of like romantasy to make it better.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good, high pace, and I was just like kicking my feet the whole time. It's
I
like,
know, it's
"Yay!"
so good.
But like a lot of things don't make sense in it, but you just gotta like have to like disregard
Yeah.
it.
Well, then that could be improvement. Like if you say you're an 8, then maybe clarifying things a little bit more.
Well, like when Liam died, like yeah, I was upset, but there could have been more. And same with like other people when she was, people were dying when she became a writer. Like these side characters, like I knew nothing about them. Like I just met them like a few pages ago, or just their name. Like learning more about them and like why they chose to be in this dragon, why they chose to be a writer and sacrifice. Like, I mean, you're gonna die most likely. So like,
Right.
why? And I just wanted to hear more about them.
This is supposed to be the quote unquote most honorable quadrant
Yeah.
to be in, because I think after that you're only a healer or a scribe, right?
Yeah. And like, why do they want to kill everyone? Like, why not just move them to something else? Like, they're already like they don't have enough people.
Right.
Like, why do they have to die? But like, I just love. It was just such a niche little world just to like be in, and like it doesn't have to make sense sometimes.
Right.
And that's what was great about it.
I loved it. I'm excited to actually finish Iron Flame.
Yes.
So I started it before, but that was like a year ago. So I need to actually read it, finish it,
And we're gonna talk about it next week.
and then we'll be
Man,
really excited for All
you
Next
want
Storm
this
in
to
January.
fast. Like I kind of want to nurse this a little bit because we still have several weeks before the third one comes out.
All right. We'll
I think we might have
reschedule.
to give this one like 2 weeks.
I think
Okay.
when does it come out? I think it comes
January.
out like January 22nd or something like that.
I know you're gonna make me wait more than 30 days for a book.
Oh my god. Well, what if we do this?
Well, you already start. Okay, wait, Katherine, you cannot talk. You already started Iron Flame.
I'm on chapter 5.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Catherine!
I can't help it. You can't end like that. I will refuse.
Then why are you okay.
Refuse.
So next week,
Refuse.
Iron
Or real-
Flame.
She's
Okay.
already started.
That's not true. My weekends get really busy. You can take a full 2 weeks. I will slow myself down.
No,
I will
you won't.
Slow
No, you
myself
You're
down.
so full of it.
You're not.
So I think, okay, if I wanted to take my vote down to a 9, I would have liked to have seen more. Like she could have even, I don't know if it could have been in this book, but you could have had like a mini series on just like the folklore tales
Yeah.
that like her dad talks about. Like I want to know more about these brothers.
I
want to
wanna-
know more about the jealousy, the war, like how, I mean, So obviously there was a war. You'd think the good guys have won, but the bad guys are obviously still around and they're growing.
Yeah.
So were they not decimated in the beginning? In the end?
Yeah.
Was the war truly never over?
Yeah.
Well, don't the which way is it? Is it the wyvern that like creates the venom, or is it the other way around? The venom creates the wyvern.
Which is why there's multiple wyverns and only sometimes one venom.
Yeah, that's
so
why you kill that one.
Multiple go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So final thoughts?
And there's a siege, which is the main.
I don't think there are final thoughts for Catherine. I think
Yeah.
there's just more thoughts.
Well, also another like thing I have is like after they slept together for the first time, I felt like she was so like in love with him, and I love the banter, the tension, the building, and I feel like it like ended like she was like all for him, and I was like, all right, I want to like keep doing this little like cat and mouse thing.
Well, they're doing it right now.
Yeah, and that's why I
sure.
guess it's happening again.
Yeah.
But she does become very whiny, being like,
Yes.
you never like get over it, okay?
Yeah.
Move on.
I think I would have forgiven him. This is where I would have forgiven him because I probably would have been pissed all through the war. Is like once we got back and we've got
Yeah, and your brother.
Yeah. Well, that's going into the second one. I can't say that.
All right. Okay, so
That was a really long one. You're gonna have fun editing that.
all right, so I think that's the end of Fourth Wing. We had so much to say, and
Yeah.
please comment your thoughts, join the conversation. We want to hear from you and what you loved and what you hated, because I mean, we could talk about this forever.
We want to hear your theories.
Yes. So
Theories.
next week or the week after, we're still deciding, but Iron Flame perhaps,
Yes.
or a little Christmassy novel. You decide and let me know. But like, how can you stop this and not read Iron Flame? So yeah. All right. Okay. Well, that's it. So bye.